Hello, BookTube, and welcome back. Well, I'm going to do another one of my book review videos. As always, when I make these videos, I am not a professional book reviewer. It's just my mere humble opinions, secretly disguised as fact. And I like to keep these things, within 10 minutes so I'm not waffling and going on like Miss Doyle and Father Ted. So I like to keep them quite compact and just get straight to the point. So, without further ado, what have I read? So, another non-fiction book, another travel non-fiction book. This is Abroad in Japan by Chris Broad. Apologies, I'm a Kindle reader and I'm not going to splash out on the Kindle colour. So you have to bear with me with a black and white screen. So I didn't know who Chris Broad was when I bought this book, but he is my friend kind of like, you should read this book, Al. He's like an influencer. And as soon as he said that, like I recoiled and like, oh no, I'm not interested in that. But he's like, no. And like he's more of a YouTuber, more of a travel YouTuber. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. So he's a YouTuber who travels around Japan and makes documentaries and films of his travels and travails. And his YouTube channel is called Abroad in Japan. So the book, it's about 300 pages. So it's a couple of days read. That's just for me. It's not that hard going. 300 pages, and it leaves off just after the pandemic. So about 2001, 2002 is the last entries, and it goes all the way back to 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, around there. So the book is about him going to Japan at the start of him just being a fresh-faced cherub of a lad just straight out of uni and going to teach English in the JET program in Japan. And he knew very, very, very little Japanese. So he goes to Japan, goes to the school, and then it's all about how he learns to adapt to Japanese culture, and how then he tries to learn Japanese, and how he tries to teach the students at the time Japanese. He does this in a city called Yamagata. Yamagata is known for like cherry trees and all that goodness, So the first, I'd say about 60% of the book is him, being a teacher. It's like first 3 years covers like 60% of the book, where he's just learning the Japanese culture. He's learning, what it's like to mingle with the teachers and what it's like to mingle with the students, and outside, gaining friends from outside of the school, and then his journeys in those 3 years just going around Japan. It goes on from there for the last, I say, 40 to a third of the book, where he leaves being a teacher and goes to Sendai, I think, which is another Japanese city. And he's left being a teacher, and now he's more of a filmmaker, YouTube personality. Oh, it's a horrible word, isn't it? A YouTube personality. So that's what the last third of the book is about. And, he goes around making films of biking. He talks about some of the things that's happened to Japan when he was there, the tsunami and the earthquake. He also talks about getting like North Korean missile warnings on his phone. So that's like the last third, whereas the first part is about him just trying to blend into the Japanese culture, knowing very little of it. So that's the overall what he's trying to get across to you, and a large part of the book of him not knowing anything. Anyone can do this. Anyone can go from wherever they are and go to a foreign country and then teach their own preferred language. In this case, it's English. And again, it's a non-fiction book, so it's not heavy on research. It's just one dude's opinions, right, all the way through. A bit of facts of what's on the ground in Japan and what's happened in the past, and how, how the Japanese culture has built up from that point, like after the tsunami or whatnot. So it's not dense in any place in this book at all. It's immense. It is quite readable. As I said, it's only 300 pages. It doesn't get bogged down with any kind of massive research intensive part. It's pretty much, it reads more like a memoir. Which, and the tone, more the writing style and the tone I get onto, it's very much in the same flavour if anybody's ever read Will Ferguson. Maybe a little bit of Bill Bryson as well. And I can't remember who the author is who wrote The Sex Lives of the Cannibals either. Can't remember the author's name there. It reads like that. It's dry. It's incredibly funny. There's a lot of funny moments in his stories throughout this book. So it's got that British wit just completely injected into its core in this book, and it really does come through. So that's kind of like the tone of the book, is a bit of sarcasm, a bit of wit, and a bit of, of him embarrassing himself and then learning from his mistakes. So what was my overall opinion of this book? As you can tell, I liked it. This is right up my all travel non-fiction books are up my street. I loved them. I did a fair bit of traveling myself, so I've got that kind of camaraderie. If I've said that right, I don't forget that. And it's I read it in a couple of days. It's a fast read. It's funny. I preferred the first, like I said, 60%, 2/3 of the book, where he's on the ground and he's learning Japanese and he's learning what to do and what not to do. I found that was the funniest part of the book. The second part, where he's getting into more his YouTube stuff and his film and documentary, I thought that was a little bit rushed for me. I think when the author was writing this, he would have assumed that people knew who he was before you picked this up. I didn't. So it was kind of like a straight, fast paced kind of start to the finish of, I think the second part of the last third is like 10 years or whatever it is. And it goes quite fast, where he's just talking about how he became a fully fledged full earner on YouTube. But yeah, if you're interested in travel memoirs, if you're interested in just purely funny books, especially if you like the British dry wit of embarrassing yourself and then you like to tell people about it. I think that's a very British thing, that, isn't it? Yeah, we like to embarrass ourselves, but we also like to tell people what we've done. This is an immensely great. This is up there for me with one of the best non-fiction books I've read so far this year. And again, with the caveat of I love travel, non-fiction and memoirs, and especially if they've got massive doses of comedy and dry wit. So I don't give him I don't give an overall score. 7 Scooby-Doos. What does that actually mean? Who knows? But if you're interested in reading, if you're interested in Japan, pick this up. If you're interested in how silly Gaijins try and learn Japanese culture, pick this book up. If you're interested in how a YouTuber got going, and then how he massively expanded his brand, and what an ugly word that is, pick this book up. Or if you want a funny travel log of a guy's journey from start to finish, pick this book up. You won't be disappointed. It's funny. And that's it, folks. And I will see you soon. Bye, BookTube.